But if Middle Eastern wars aren't your flavor, just like women aren't Lindsey Graham's, maybe you're into Latin America more.
Maduro, everybody talked about him. Well, Donald Trump's got him in jail. Cuba's next. They're going to fall. This communist dictatorship in Cuba, their days are numbered.
Cuba's next. My bad. Didn't realize that we had to go bomb and overthrow the regime in Cuba as well. At least Lindsey's thinking forward. Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and today we're going to talk about little American psycho Lindsey Grindr Graham, because yes, Lindsey is everywhere in the news media lately during this conflict. I don't know why, and every time you look around, he's attached to the hip of old Trump. It seems like the only person that's got more control over foreign policy in this country is this guy. But what has this little closeted neocon lunatic been up to recently? Well, looks like committing treason, as well as advocating for the bombing of about 47 different countries. Because the only thing that gets Lindsey Graham harder than bombing brown people is the Grindr meetup at CPAC. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, helps the channel. Also, guys, we've revamped Patreon. We're going to be doing a bunch of cool stuff over there. And first 1,000 people to sign up get a free month membership. Now let's jump into it and see what this disgusting little fucker has been up to. So there has been some reporting that it sounds like about 2 weeks ago, before the war kicked off, Donald Trump sent Lindsey Graham to Saudi Arabia to meet with the Crown Prince, MBS, to try and talk him into supporting the war, because it would make sense. Yes, Saudi Arabia, very important, considering right across the Strait of Hormuz is Iran, and they could be highly affected by this war. And it sounds like Saudi Arabia told Lindsey Graham, absolutely fucking not. So where's the treason come in? Well, it sounds like what Lindsey Graham did was went back to America and Donald Trump and lied and told them, yes, MBS is all on board, which would be literal treason. And then we were told by the administration that Saudi Arabia was all on board. Not only that, that they were going to enter the conflict alongside us. However, that also turned out to be a fucking lie. This is really what's going on. Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and the UAE are considering dropping U.S. contracts and ending economic ties with the United States. And that should be fantastic for gas prices, because they're also almost $8 a gallon in LA in the first week of the war. Now, you may be wondering, how did we get here? Lindsey Graham used to be a massive never Trumper, absolutely hated his guts, and now, I mean, you can't get these two apart. Best friends, of course. Well, let's take a little trip down memory lane, and I'll explain to you how we got to where we are now.
What is your reaction to hearing what Donald Trump says?
I'm disgusted. Well, I want to talk to the Trump supporters for a minute. I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you like this guy. I think what you like about him, he appears to be strong when the rest of us are weak. He's a very successful businessman, and he's going to make everything great. He's going to take all the problems of the world and put them in a box and make your life better. That's what he's selling. Here's what you're buying. He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. He doesn't represent my party.
A few moments later.
That Donald Trump, in my opinion, is the gold standard for Republicans, maybe any president. And
Wait, what? Donald Trump doesn't represent my party, and then Donald Trump's the gold standard of my party. How could? Well, let me show you what Trump was saying back when Lindsey hated him.
We should have never gone into the Middle East. We should have never gone into the Middle East. Under my leadership, we will turn the page forever on those foolish, stupid days of never-ending wars.
We're rebuilding our military stronger than ever before, and we are not going to deplete it again on stupid, senseless, endless wars.
Oh, well, that's right. That was anti-neocon Donald Trump when Lindsey Graham hated him. But who's the Trump that we have now? Yes, of course, times have changed. And since nobody has any idea why we're even in this war to begin with, at least Lindsey should be able to explain it to us.
It's a religious war. Who wins it at the end of the day? Do the radical Islamic terrorists who want to kill all the Jews because God told them to? Who want to kill me because I'm an infidel?
Oh, it's a religious war. It's a holy war. Because I thought that it was, we were maybe supposed to be stopping their ambitions that they don't even have anymore, so right, because they're obliterated, or it's the ballistic missiles, or even like funding terrorist proxies. But no, they just let the cat out of the bag, just told the truth. It's a religious war. Great. And when Lindsey's got some time off of his main hobby and his main career, which is hanging out at the local men's bathhouse, he also again is advocating for bombing literally everyone.
So I'm calling on President Trump today. Join Israel to attack Hezbollah. Avenge the Marines. America never forgets. Those 220 Marines and 18 sailors' families, we want to go after the infrastructure that killed your loved ones.
We got to bomb Lebanon now. Oh, okay. And you may be a little bit confused when you hear 200 and something dead Marines. I didn't hear an announcement on that. Well, yeah, that's because he's talking about this. So, okay, we're basing our foreign policy off things that happened nearly half a decade ago? Okay. But if Middle Eastern wars aren't your flavor, just like women aren't Lindsey Graham's, maybe you're into Latin America more.
Maduro, everybody talked about him. Well, Donald Trump's got him in jail. Cuba's next. They're going to fall. This communist dictatorship in Cuba, their days are numbered.
Cuba's next. My bad. Didn't realize that we had to go bomb and overthrow the regime in Cuba as well. At least Lindsey's thinking forward. And let me take it back real quick to Lindsey saying that Donald Trump is the gold standard of Republicans, because again, Lindsey Graham is now the face of MAGA. So yes, this is Senator Graham's conservative review. What this shows is how often a conservative politician, actually votes down conservative lines on bills. As you can see, Liberty score here for old Lindsey, 43% F. 60% of the time, he votes against conservative values. And again, to my point, he is now the face of MAGA. So it actually makes perfect sense now that Lindsey Graham says things like Donald Trump is the gold standard of Republicans, because that's the type of Republican he's talking about. And what else might cause Lindsey to be such a little psycho? Oh, that's right. Lindsey's the GOAT of receiving that sweet AIPAC money, baby. And the only person better at it is, of course, his daddy. And what does that money and, well, blackmail, of course, buy you? Well, this.
You look at the last few years since October 7th, many people in this part of the world say what happened in Gaza does not align with Christian values. Killing children, killing mothers,
I'll be honest
killing
with
families who are not militants.
Yeah, I don't buy that at all.
Why?
Because what did we do in World War II? Did we think 1 minute about starving the Germans? Did we bomb every city into to smithereens? To the world. If you don't understand this is a threat to Israel's
and then
survival,
they flattened.
just flatten it. We flattened Berlin. We flattened Tokyo.
Okay, total lunatic. And you may be wondering, well, why was Senator Lindsey Graham ever even sent to Saudi Arabia to discuss war plans to begin with? He's not the Secretary of State. He's not an ambassador. He's not the Secretary of Defense. He's just a senator from South Carolina. You'd think he'd be more focused on what's going on in his own state, because South Carolina is not doing well. And it turns out that Lindsey says, I come here every 2 weeks. Lindsey Graham on our greatest ally. While South Carolina ranks 42nd nationally in education, healthcare, and child well-being. So really looking after his own people well. Oh, South Carolina, not sure what you're doing. Might want to figure that out. We'll talk about that in a minute. But again, Lindsey Graham trying to bring upon World War III. We've all seen that. And I think there's been some really great takes about if we really wanted to bring in world peace, this is probably how we'd have to do it.
The only way that we will actually achieve lasting world peace is if Lindsey Graham finally comes out. If he finds a husband, gets a small little yappy dog, and lives out the rest of his days on a big front porch in Charleston, sipping sweet tea and staying out of our business.
Wow. Brett Cooper based AF, huh? Please, Lindsey, just come out the closet. And honestly, if we could tie these two together, let them retire together in South Carolina, a nice plantation where they can sit on the porch and sip sweet tea together. At least maybe the world wouldn't be in flames. Let's see what old Lindsey's own coworkers have to say about him.
It's you next, ma'am. Go ahead, brother.
Senator Lindsey Graham is now calling for the U.S. to start bombing Lebanon in response to the Hezbollah IDF action.
Lindsey hadn't seen a fist fight he hasn't wanted to turn into a bombing, right? So I just take it with a grain of salt, dude. Yep.
However, we probably should take him seriously because, again, he is the one that is actually telling Donald Trump what to do with this war. Absolute insanity. And so what can we do about it? Well, South Carolina, it's your time to shine because, yes, Lindsey Graham is up for re-election in 2024. 26. And honestly, I have no idea what South Carolina has been doing for the last 24 years almost at this point, because Lindsey entered Congress in 2003, right at the same time we invaded Iraq. And he has again supported every goddamn foreign entanglement and foreign war that we've had since. And again, he's got a 0% track record of success with that. So yes, South Carolina, while you guys are struggling to afford groceries, your education rates are in the dumpster. Maybe you should consider, hiring somebody that actually gives a shit about your state. But for now, it is what it is. And we're just going to have to wait and see what kind of psychopath babble bullshit Lindsey Graham spouts off with next. That's going to do it for this one. Catch y'all in the next video.